Okay, back on. I believe so. All right, so um, work from home, so I had to take a call. Apologize for the interruption. So we were on K, um, and again, a lot of these, a lot of these letters, if you write them out with me, you'll see how they came about. The letter B is for breakdown or for separation. All right. Well, when you do a B, you're drawing a line and you're putting two cups in next to the line. You're separating, almost like you're sifting two things apart. Um, C would be like a semicircle. D would be a line and one curve, which means it's actually pointing in one direction. E, I mean, that looks like it's like something's moving. It reminds you of energy. F would be the E without one of the lines of motion. So it's almost like it's movement, but it's stagnated movement. So you can understand how it represents frustration. G, guide, that's obviously the Milky Way, the spiral, letting you know, indicating the Fibonacci scale, giving you an indication of how things grow, right? When you look at pi and you see it visually, you're gonna see it's almost gonna remind you of a G. H, this is the measure of things, right? The limits to things. You're showing, you're measuring the limit. Okay. Um, Take that, put it on its side. There's no more limits. It's just I. So I is H without any limits. J is kind of reminds you of a fish hook. It represents intense speed. Okay, so K, we already discussed angles, distinction, separation, force. L represents element. Element can be air, fire, water, right? Um, M represents common, man, togetherness. N represents not or without. O represents cycle, oval, egg. P represents position. Q represents comparison. R represents rules, balance, guidelines. S represents meandering away from, not taking direct course, like a snake. T, togetherness or to gather. U would be equal or universal. V would be humbleness, compromise. W would be contrast, wave. X would be out of, depleted, or extinct, like the word extinct. Y would be branding together, braiding together, making two things one. That's where the shape of a Y is coming from. Like you got two twigs and you're braiding them together to be one. And Z would represent movement. All right. So um, he also mentioned that the first syllable in the letter or in the word may represent the light side of the word, and the second syllable would represent the dark side of the word. Um, Take the word sin. We're just going to go through a couple of words. Sin, S-I-N. According to this alphabet, the underlying magic behind the word sin would be to meander away from oneself and to be not, to be without. So you're committing sin when you move away from yourself and you leave yourself, with nothing. Um, I had a couple words in mind. I can't remember. Here's one. Die. D-I-E. This is a verb. This is like telling somebody to cease to exist, right? It just so happens that die breaks down to be direction, uh, uh, direction, oneself, energy. So I'm almost telling you to direct yourself to become energy, to not be matter anymore. Be energy. Die. Um, Every word makes sense with this alphabet. I've been here for days, just going through different words, reversing words, finding correlations, everything that can be, um, and you know, within our community, within the Moorish community, when we use etymology, we're already getting to the origin. We're already breaking stuff down for what it really is, and that's the real magic of this. Um, but you can take a person's name, break it down, and see the attributes of their character. Like it's really this is some really powerful stuff. This can be a curriculum within itself. So, courtesy of Chasm, uh, Chazm. You can break that down. That's the gentleman that we can thank for this alphabet. This is Webster's dictionary. Um, real quick breakdown of the word earth. I'm going to leave you with. Um, Th is the suffix of the word. Just represents, of, pertaining to, regarding. But the EAR, the ear, definition of ear is awareness of, to have an ear for something, or to have sensitivity to pitch and tone. So, um, earth, just by that definition, is no longer a place, a location. It is now just this the sensitivity of awareness. So it's like, well, if you reverse that, then it's almost like you're sleeping, and when you wake up, you're sensitive now again to pitch and tone. May not necessarily be a, one spot on a map inside the universe. Could just be a state of being for some people. Something to think about.